Started.
Alright, so Father Chris,
Yes.
what is your opinion on the constant increase of budget towards the Olympics and at the cost of the social programs?
I think first of all, to talk about the social programs, that I think for any government, for any country, should always be a priority. If who we are as a country will be determined how we care for the less fortunate, the disenfranchised, the seniors, those with mental health issues, our First Nations people. If that doesn't become a priority, it doesn't say too much about us as a country, right?
Yeah.
Because it's the marginalised should take priority. But unfortunately, governments are driven by money, really, at the end of the day, who has the louder voice.
Yeah.
That's why I think it's so important in a course that you're doing is that you become aware of these issues and realise that we, Catholic Church, all of us, need to be the voice of the voiceless.
Okay. Do you think the housing opportunities lost due to the Olympic costs is justified?
It's a catch-22, in some sense, I would hate to be a politician and have to make that call. Because if you look at the overall impact of the Olympic Games in a country like this, I think it did a lot for Vancouver. I think from a number of perspectives. For the country as a whole, Canada is on the world stage. Economically for Vancouver, it brought in a lot of money into Vancouver. It brought in a lot of people. And from the government's perspective, they're looking at the long-term impact of, if we put in all of this money now, what are the long-term impacts on Vancouver? Because we have got Whistler, we've got incredible beauty around us and facilities. So, for a government, they're always looking at what will bring more money into the economy. Okay, that's that perspective. But, but how then do you say, okay, if we are spending all of this money, shouldn't a portion of that go to the disenfranchised? Shouldn't a portion of that go to the homeless? Shouldn't a portion of that go to social services? And as far as I'm aware, I think with the Olympic Village, they were hoping that something over 200 of that housing would go to subsidized housing, right? I know maybe there's a lot of those condominiums have been set aside for subsidized housing. I don't know how effective it has been up to now to get people in there.
Okay. Do you agree with the encroachment on First Nations owned land was a fair choice by the government without consultation?
Without consultation, a government is always for the people, by the people. So a government, I don't think any government, we are not like a dictatorship. We're not like a Syria or a Libya or Afghanistan where we have dictators who are telling us what to do. In a democracy, I think always government has to consult with the people, especially like with First Nations people. If this is their land, they should have a right to have some kind of say or some kind of compensation, for sure.
Okay. It has been shown that the needs of the 2010 Olympics caused unrest in some communities. Would you go to say that in a project as big as the Olympics, the government should have made their decisions with the whole population in mind?
The obvious answer to that would be yes, but life is more complicated than that, right? So how do you consult with everyone, and how do you keep everyone happy, right? So even though